Hey everyone, Chris Ruhm with the Ruhm-Insurance Agency, a licensed independent insurance agent located in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today I want to go over some of the benefits of a health savings account. Maybe not the traditional route that you think of with a health savings account. So hopefully you get some information out of this and you might learn a new trick that you didn't already know about health savings accounts, other than the traditional route you take with them. So this is why I call an HSA a triple threat, because it reduces your taxable income, your money grows tax-free within the health savings account, and then money comes out tax-free for qualified medical expenses. So this last one is kind of the traditional route with health savings account. You put your money in, you have a healthcare expense, you take it out for the healthcare expense as they come available. My approach is going to be a little bit different. Okay. And let me just tell you about HSAs first. First, you need a high deductible health plan, and that is determined by the IRS. They've opened up the floodgates for types of high deductible health plans this year. So they're really easy to get one. You don't have to have the traditional one where there's no copays or anything like that allowed. You're not allowed to have copays. You just have to have a high deductible health plan, and usually an agent can help you determine if that plan qualifies for the health savings account that you're allowed to open with that high deductible health plan. So there are two separate entities. The high deductible health plan allows you to have an HSA. If you don't have that high deductible health plan, you can keep your HSA, but you just can't contribute to it anymore. Okay, so that's where some people get confused. They think it's like one and the same. Once you have your health savings account, it's yours for life. Okay, and it's not a use it or lose it situation. All right, so that's where I'm getting into the health savings account versus a flexible spending account. You might be familiar with your old company flexible spending account where you had to put a set dollar value in, and if you didn't spend it, you lost it. The HSA carries over from year to year. It gains interest. It accrues over a lifetime, and that's where my strategy comes into play, separate from the traditional route. You put the money in, you have a healthcare expense, you take it out, and you reduce your taxable income, the money comes out tax free. All right. So my approach is a little bit different, and I think you'll find it unique and probably pretty exciting for some people. It's not for everybody, but the contribution limits for 2026 for an individual are 4,400 and then 8,750 for a family. So that's a maximum amount of money you can put into your health savings account. If you're 55 or older, there's a $1,000 catch-up clause. All right, so the health insurance component, when you get a high deductible health plan, usually your premiums are lower, but you have a higher out-of-pocket cost. In a good year, I always tell people, since it's going to be probably one of the top 5 least expensive plans you can get, in a good year, you're going to save on premium. You're not just giving the insurance company money. And in a bad year, if you do the math, you take the premium times 12 plus the max out of pocket, usually it's better than a more expensive plan. So it's a win-win no matter how you look at it. Now, there are some unique situations where you're really high usage where the middle of the road or higher cost plans might make sense. But if you really understand health savings accounts and how they work, and the negotiated rate with providers and the insurance companies, I love the HSA no matter what. And then, as I said, you can pay for qualified health expenses with your HSA savings, but I'm going to give you a different approach to that. Again, money carries over year to year, so it's not like the FSA where you have to be perfect. And then, as long as you keep track of all your healthcare expenses, there's no look back how far you can go back to pulling a receipt. And that's going to kind of take us into the emphasis of what I like about a health savings account. Okay. So again, this is not going to be for everybody. I know everybody, some people are on a tight budget. They don't have extra money to put in a health savings account and then not use it for those healthcare expenses. But from the investment side of it, let's say you invested $5,000 a year for 20 years. That's $100,000. Let's say it compounds 8% annually. That is historical numbers. If you're in a conservative money market or flexible spending account, not flexible spending account, excuse me, an ETF fund or a mutual fund. That's what I meant. I don't know where I got flexible spending account from a few slides ago. But let's say it just compounds 8% annually. That 100,000 in 20 years is now 228,000, or 128,000 tax-free dollars earned, okay? So my philosophy is instead of just paying for your healthcare expenses as they come, just leave the money in the HSA, let it grow for as long as you can, for as long as you can have the account. So let's say you're starting at 30 years old, 35 years old, and you can keep it for 30 years until you get to Medicare, and you can save a couple $100,000 tax-free in that account. If you get lucky, like some people did with NVIDIA, $10,000 invested in NVIDIA, just 2 years of an HSA would be worth $6.5 million. That will pay for your lifetime of not only healthcare, long-term care, and everything else. I know we don't have a crystal ball for that kind of luck, but it's possible. It's possible to earn 15%. It's possible to earn 25% on whatever amount you invest. So again, if you put this money in the HSA and you do not touch it for however many years until you turn 65. Once you turn 65, you can take that money out you can take it out for any reason at that point. Now you will be taxed for whatever the taxable rate is at that time. But if you have, let's say you save for 30 years and you have you got $150,000 saved. Well, if you have the receipts for the expenses and you've had $40,000 worth of healthcare expenses over that time frame, you can go back and pull those receipts from 15 years ago. And let's say you want to go on a $10,000 cruise. Well, as long as you have the receipts to pull that money out at that point, you can pull it out tax-free, okay? Because there is no look back on how far you can go. So that is the investment component that can really work out in your favor if you just look at historical numbers of 8% annually on your earnings in a ETF fund, mutual fund, anything along those lines. And then if you get lucky with an NVIDIA or an Apple or an Amazon, you might have all your healthcare paid for life. Okay, on a very minimal investment of $10,000, NVIDIA literally was worth $6.5 million 20 years later. Okay, so health savings accounts, in conclusion, is one of the most powerful financial tools you can use if you understand it. And a lot of people don't understand the side of it that I just brought up. They only understand, okay, money in, money out for healthcare expenses, but you can save. Okay. Again, I'm not a financial planner, so if you want to review this with your financial advisor, I have a feeling they'll agree with me, or even your tax planner. This is a great tool. Not everybody has an extra $8,000 a year to put in one of these, or $4,000 if you're an individual. But if you can and you can let it grow, it's an excellent another source of savings for your retirement. Okay, and it can possibly pay for all your retirement, again, if you get lucky with like an NVIDIA or an Apple or something along those lines along the way. So if you found this useful today, I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, or if you learned something about health savings accounts, please put a comment, and appreciate you watching again. So again, my name is Chris Ruhm. I'm a licensed independent insurance agent. I'm a huge fan of HSAs. As you can tell from this video, I have one personally. If you need to reach me, you can go to chrisruhm.com. You can call me at 496-3877, or you can email me at chris@chrisruhm.com. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.